You're watching the CG Live podcast. Now, the content for these podcasts are a little bit different than our normal pods as we bring on members and do long-form interviews. These were actually recorded live at our events with members that were going on stage to present, so the content is killer. Enjoy the show. Welcome into the Collective Genius podcast. I'm Leon Barnes, and we are at our Q2 event, CG CEO, CG Premier, and now I keep forgetting to say this on the other pods. Other than the one I did with Tim Bratz, now CG Legacy, our commercial room, and I have one of those members, longtime member of Legacy, Mr. Dan Costantino. I knew I was going to butcher that, so can you please say it for me? So it sounds to you, Costantino. It sounds so much better when you say it. Dan, you have been a lot. First of all, thank you for joining us here on the Collective Genius podcast. Excited to have your group as a part of this. This is something that we at the Collective Genius have been thinking about for a long time, having a commercial room. We have a lot of people that operate in the commercial space, just never had a room dedicated to it. So it's great to have you guys as a part of the Collective Genius family. Your first impressions so far at your first meeting?
It's been awesome. I mean, honestly, better than I even expected. I love that it's a bigger room, and I really met some high quality people. So first impression's been awesome. There's always a little bit of anxiousness when things change.
Sure.
And like I told many people, this has really been integrated and rolled out much better than even I hoped for.
Yeah, it's important to us. There's a lot of good people that coming to your first event on the cruise earlier this year was important for us to get to know a lot of them, as many members as we possibly could in a 3A time frame. And I could see it. I knew that we had really good people that were doing good business that were, frankly, a little bit worried about change and how things would be at Collective Genius versus, what Tim has built over the last 8 years with Legacy. And so we knew that coming in, and we wanted to make sure that you guys knew that this was something that white glove service is what we offer, and making sure that you get everything and beyond, hopefully, what you need. So let's do this. We haven't even told people what you do and where you do it at. So you're out of Pittsburgh, and you are multifamily space, correct?
Multifamily, and we do hard money lending as well. So we grew our portfolio to up to about 660 units through, brute force through the first 100 units. Then we did 2 syndications. And I've been lending for nearly a decade, just small. But now we've made a run at it. We created our own debt fund. So multifamily operator and hard money lending is our 2 sweet spots.
Did you start in multifamily?
No, I started out, I was a W-2 employee for the first 5 years. I started in 2013. I was in sales. I was good at negotiating, good at sales.
In the real estate space?
No, I was in trucking and logistics.
Okay.
And
You were trucking logistics? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I know you mentioned Blue Grace. So I worked for a 3PL for a little while. I worked for Roadway Express, which was a Fortune 500 company, back when I started. And they messed with my commissions, and I'm not easy to manage. So I'm gonna flip a couple houses a year and make an extra 100 grand or whatever. And that's how it started. Almost walked away from my first deal. $5,000 earnest money deposit. I got cold feet. Fortunately, I had a stepdad that talked some sense into me and came and looked at the project for me. And I ended up making 27 grand in 91 days on that first split, and loved it and just kept doing it. But my goal was just to flip single family houses. Not what I started. I didn't get into. Then I bought duplexes and 4 units on my way up to 100 units. So that's where I got some experience stabilizing some 4, 5, 8 unit properties, and it was relatively easy.
When you say relatively easy, I want to make sure that the audience that's watching and also listening here that's thinking of jumping asset classes from single family, because we have a lot of the members that definitely want to talk to you about that. And, there are some that are over there already doing that. What made that jump easy for you?
Well, I love the diversification, right? A single family house, if you're renting it, obviously they're easier to exit. There's no question about it. But from a buy and hold standpoint, you have diversification, meaning if a unit goes vacant, you're not. That's you have $0 income. I just got really good at leasing because I'm good in sales. I love the finance part of it and really sizing the loan to make sure that we burn everything. I mean, in those first 100 units, I really never had to leave money in the deal. So, they were bigger numbers than the single families. The rental numbers made more sense in my market. Pittsburgh's a very stable market. It's not like we were talking with someone like he can't even find 1% deals in New Jersey, but PA. I mean, they're in Pittsburgh. They're all around.
Sure.
So I just didn't find them to be hard or difficult from an operational standpoint. And I have to say, operations is everything when you're building portfolio. I mean, you can buy a great deal and ruin it in operations.
When did this concept, how long have you been with Legacy?
About 6 years. I mean, we were the first to bet.
So it's the very first, so from day one then, what made you, had you been in any type of community like that before?
I was in a mastermind, Apex. It was more of a business mastermind, not really.
Because you understood the power of a community.
Oh, it has changed my life. I remember going to my first debate, and I told the salesperson who I'm friends with, he's actually an investor in our debt fund. I said, I want to be the dullest person anywhere. And when I went, it was 30 people. And I looked around and I'm like, man, this person does 10 million a year. Like, I don't know what he has that I don't. So I was there to learn, right? But I didn't feel like I was on that level. The more you're around people, the more you find that, they're not magical. You're more similar than you're different.
Right.
And it made me feel comfortable in pushing myself. My tagline's no finish line, right? That's because until you find what your ceiling is, you got to keep pushing yourself. And these routes help you do that more quicker.
Specifically to Legacy, what were the biggest challenges that you were having when you first joined? And how did that group help you, get past those challenges and keep going to the no finish line?
Yeah. First off, it is very different analyzing large multifamily. You have to understand how finance works. You have to understand how the underwriters look at the deals, what cap rates are, right, what the inverse effect of those cap rates going up and down are. So you have to understand how to value them and where you're going to, we all talk about value add. I think a lot of people don't really understand what that means, but how to attack a project and understand where that profit's going to come from. Because every seller, every broker, every real estate agent's going to tell you, you could raise the rents. I'm very comfortable in saying, yeah, and when I do, I'm going to get the upside. I'm not paying for upside, right? So I think being in that group uh, is how I learned how the economics of the deals work.
So 6 years later, CG Legacy is formed. The group is in its own room. You guys are a part of the group as well as had your own breakout. Coming into this, I mean, outside of learning what the collective genius and the culture of our group and maybe meeting some of the members, was there anything in particular right now that you're having the challenge that you came to this room saying, I could really use some help with this right now in the asset class that you work in?
Well, I will say yes. One of the people that actually popped in, Kelly Garrett, she's one of my favorite people. She's really helped me uh, in our transition from, we just raised money with promissory notes. I had $7 million worth of promissory notes out there, and we converted that to a gap fund. That's the proper way to do it. And she gave me little tidbits of advice through that. So now I've hired an analyst, I've hired a transaction coordinator. We're beginning to grow. We just converted to a 506C exemption so we can publicly talk about our debt fund now, which we could not before. So going through all that, implementing our loan operating system, like all those little things I get from these groups. I think my focus right now is more on the lending side while we continue our stabilization work. We're coming at the tail end of taking some bigger properties full cycle, which is also something that I learned from Matt Carlin and Tinlock, because it's a tough market to exit those big commercial deals. So we sold 200 units last year, but one sale was 152 units. The cap rate's not where we thought, but we cleared $4.6 million in payback investors, payback, suspended preferred returns, which was another thing that this group helped me get through. That stopping preferred returns was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my career.
That's tough. It's really tough. Build relationship with investors.
Just dressing, sleepless nights, never missed a band before that, right? Like that was very uncomfortable for me. I had some people come at me, and these guys really helped me navigate the emotional part of that and try to separate that emotion out. Uh, Fortunately, we paid all of that back. It would return capital, and we're about to sell another 36 unit asset, and we're turning for more capital. So
We talk about this all the time. The power of these rooms is the compression of the learning curve, it's the compression of the challenges that you're going through. And, when operators do what you were able to do, I mean, let's face it, 22, 23 were tough years in the multifamily space. Up until that time, though, it was phenomenal. Everybody wanted to get into apartments. We heard it every single day. Who do you know that they can help me get into syndications or multifamily or self-storage, RV parks? It was just sexy thing, right? And then it was not so sexy all of a sudden. But operators like yourself that made it through that made everyone whole, you'll never have to worry about raising capital ever again.
I say it all the time. It's not just me. Trust me, we have 30 people. My team is battle tested, you know, and someone said maybe just a couple weeks ago, you don't want to necessarily give your money to someone that says they've never been through failures or tough times. And I understand that because everyone looks good when everything is going on. You find out who people are in the tough times. And I feel like this case study, we're not done with it yet. I mean, it was a 305 unit portfolio, the first one. And previous to that, my biggest unit was, or biggest acquisition was 12 units. So it was a big jump. Big jump. But we sold half of the portfolio. Again, reset everything financially for us. Liquidity became good. We're caught up on preferred returns, and we're set up with our red lasers and value add to take these full cycle. Yeah, we could refinance someone. You'll see how it goes.
No, that again, power of these rooms is for everyone to let you know, no matter how good you are right now. I remember in 2020 and 21, it's saying to everyone in these rooms, I hate to break it to you, you're really good. You're a good operator, but you are not the star. The market is the star right now, and I hope you're taking full advantage of these opportunities to put back reserves. We just had another member on talking about how bad it got, and the only reason they were able to commit to their tech stack for the future of their company, they were losing $250,000 a month at one point. And the only reason they were able to do that because they're good stewards of the business, which are the type of messages that you hear in rooms like this. Hey guys, the market's a star right now. Hope you're putting back reserves because you're going to have to give some of that back in the very near future. I don't know what that is. I can't tell you when that is. We're preparing you for the future. I don't have a crystal ball, but I know market cycles and how they work. Eventually, you're going to have to give that back. Those are the type of things that help you make it through these troubling times. The good news is we're seeing stabilization, especially the multifamily standpoint. I started to see more operators go, oh gosh, we're like you just mentioned, like I can breathe a little bit now. Rest of the year, we're midway through 2026. What are you most excited about? You got the lending business, you've got stabilization, you've got out of some of these holes that the market obviously got you in. What are you most excited about 26?
Um, for me, again, the focus is building up the debt funds. We just went 506C last Monday.
Oh, wow.
So
Real fresh.
yeah. We were 506B to get my promissory notes legit, get my both accredited.
But you're going to advertise.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now we can advertise some. I mean, my goal is to go raise a lot of capital,
Go get it. Let's go. I love that. Yeah.
but then help other investors. I mean, we create cash, clean, affordable, safe housing, right? So we do that number one in our multifamily space. Again, I think we have like 800 people that live with us, that's cool. A pretty neat number to think about. But also we fund all of these deals for other talented investors and operators, and they are taking dogs, houses, ones that were neglected, and turning them into livable places for families. So it's I think it's meaningful. It's not just creating widgets and shipping them out and they get discarded, right?
I don't think I know. Like it's definitely meaningful in a proud city like Pittsburgh. Do you wear the black and gold pride?
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up about 10 minutes from the Three River Stadium with the Taka. So yeah, it's there's I've been to a lot of cities and these masterminds. I think this is the 12th city that we've been at before Legacy, but I've done other masterminds. And it just shows me how special Pittsburgh is because of the people.
Yeah.
You know, if you drop something, someone's probably going to bend over and help you pick it up. Good people. And you don't get that every city.
No, I can tell you this. I've grown up in Kansas City as a Chiefs fan. I grew up, I feel like I grew up in that stadium myself, and there was always one fan base that every time they played in Kansas City showed up and showed out. I mean, even in the times where the Chiefs were competitive and good, and it was hard to get a ticket, you would see terrible towels all over the place. I just love that, the pride. Buffalo's like that, Pittsburgh's like that, not just from a sports standpoint, but just supporting the type of very Midwest. Like, I grew up in Kansas, so very Midwest. Love that. I get that vibe from you for sure. And like you mentioned before, just having 800 people that in your city providing, that's a service, man. And just got to make you feel proud.
Yeah, they count on you. Your employees count on you. I think performers like pressure, but it just makes you feel good
Yeah.
for sure.
Love that. Dan, thank you. I appreciate you joining us here. Excited to have the entire Legacy family underneath the umbrella of the Collective Genius. And our job, our goal, as I mentioned to you this morning, is to continue to bring on fresh talent, that lifeblood of the organization. And I know you've seen that over the last 6 years. There's somebody new that comes in that you learn something from, and you can help the best way moving forward. And eventually we'll get this underneath the umbrella of our website. But right now, it's explorecg.com. If you're a commercial operator, we have a room dedicated to you 4 times a year in 4 different cities. Dan has been a part of this organization for 6 years, now CG Legacy. We'd love for you to apply. It's application only. If it makes sense for you, whether you're a commercial operator in the space of multifamily, self-storage, industrial, retail, whatever it is, we have a room for you. Love to talk to you on the other side. The best way to find out more information is explorecg.com. Once you go there, fill out that application. Look forward to talking to you about CG Legacy. Dan, thank you again for being on the show. This was fun. Looking forward to doing it again in the near future. Every quarter, CG Legacy Commercial Mastermind as part of the Collective Genius. Thank you for listening to the Collective Genius podcast. We'll see you on the next one.
Are you ready to scale your real estate business? Visit explorecg.com, where real estate investors come to scale. Subscribe to the Collective Genius podcast and hit the bell icon to be notified when our next episode releases. And thanks for listening. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and the opinions expressed by the hosts and participants are their own. The Collective Genius is not liable for any direct, indirect, consequential, or other damages resulting from reliance on the information shared in this podcast.